Hey guys, in the last video, we got our hosting account all set up, and now we're going to get a temporary splash page set up to catch traffic while we're programming the rest of the site. In general, I would advise against using a splash page because they're pointless in most cases, but this is a good example of when one is acceptable in my opinion. We don't have any content, we don't even have a layout yet, but if anybody comes to our site, we don't want them to just get the generic page that biz.nf provided. It'd be nice if they could see a logo and maybe a YouTube video and a message letting them know that the site is in development. I've got a new site started up here in Dreamweaver. The first thing we need to do is get our file structure set up. I'm going to divide the files into two folders, scripts and images. All the HTML files will go in the main directory here. So let's create a folder for each of these and name them accordingly. So create a folder for script, and one called IMG to contain all the images. Inside the scripts folder, we're going to further organize our scripts according to their language. In this video, we're going to be creating a CSS style sheet, so let's create a CSS folder. We'll be adding other scripts later, but this is all we'll need for this tutorial. So that's our basic file structure. Like I said, we'll add to it as we need to, but this is what we need right now. We need to create a couple files now. An HTML file, and a CSS style sheet. So first, I'll create a new HTML file. I'll change the title to TodaysTuts, coming soon. Now, save this file inside the top directory and name it index.html. Next, we need a style sheet so we can style this HTML page. Click File, New, and CSS. Let's go ahead and save this right off the bat. Make sure to put it in the CSS folder and name it to style.css. Now we need to link the style sheet to our HTML document. Okay, now save the index.html file. Now we can dive into the style sheet and begin making things look a little bit better. The first thing that I'm going to do is use the asterisk selector, which references all elements, and set the margin and padding to 0. The reason why is that some browsers have different default settings, which may place a pixel of padding or margin in certain places where other browsers do not. This can cause inconsistent results between browsers. Setting both to 0 explicitly tells every browser to have no padding or margin on any elements. That way we can add them ourselves where we actually want them. Next, I'd like to set the background color. We'll do that with the body selector. Type background number 666. That will give a dark gray background. Back in the index page, I'm going to create a div to contain everything. And I'll give it an ID of main. Inside that, I'll make another div and give it an ID of logo. Inside this, I'll put a logo and link it to my YouTube page. So I need to put the logo into the IMG folder. You can just drag and drop from a folder. Inside the logo div, we're going to put an IMG tag, and the source will be our logo. If I save it, you can see what we have so far. The next thing I want to do is center the logo. In the style sheet, let's reference the logo div and specify the width. I'm going to give it 500 pixels. Next, I'll set the margins to auto. This makes the margin automatically fill up any unused space in the parent element, putting the image directly in the center of the window. I'd like to push it down a bit so that it's not right against the top of the window. So I'll add 200 pixels to the top margin. In the HTML file, right below the logo, I'll add an H1 tag. Inside, I'll just write "coming soon." In the meantime, check out our YouTube page. If I refresh it, it doesn't look so good. So, over in the style sheet, let's style the H1 element. All I really want to do is set the font size to 18 pixels. Inside the logo div, I want to align everything to the center. Now if I refresh the page, it's starting to look a little better. The next thing I want to do is link everything inside the logo div to the YouTube page. I'll add a link tag before the image and set it to the YouTube page. Then add the closing tag after the closing H1 tag. If I refresh it, you can see now the logo and the text beneath it link to my YouTube page. One last thing, I'd like to embed one of my videos below this. In the index.html file, add a line break beneath the logo div. Then add another div and give it an ID of video. Inside this div, I'll paste the embed code that I get from YouTube. Before I refresh the page, we need to go over to the style sheet and center the video div the same way we centered the logo div. So let's reference the video div, and we need to set the width first. The width of the video is 560 pixels, so that's what I'll set the width of the div to. Then set the margin to auto. Refresh the page, and there you go. Nothing special, but it will do for now. One last thing I'd like to talk about before I get this uploaded is what it looks like in Internet Explorer. If I preview in IE, it looks like this. Border around the logo, and the link text is a different color and hard to read. This is an easy fix though. In the style sheet, reference the anchor tag and set its color to 0000FF. That's the same color as the blue in the logo. Next, type AIMG. So this will reference any IMG elements that are the children of an anchor tag. Inside, set the border to none. Refresh the page, and now it looks consistent in all browsers. Here we are inside the biz.nf control panel. Go to File Manager, and click File Manager Advanced. Inside Dreamweaver, click on the index.html file and select Explore. This will open the folder where your files are located. In the biz.nf file manager, you have to create the folder structure yourself. You can't drag and drop folders, only files. So let's duplicate our folder structure. We need an IMG folder, and a script folder. And inside that, we need a CSS folder. Drag and drop each of the files we made into their spots. Once everything is in place, go to www.todaystuts.co.nf. And there you go. Our temporary splash page is live. So thanks for watching.